A new 48 hours investigation looks into the death of a Kansas woman after she was found dying from a gunshot wound in 2019. Now, the coroner initially ruled Kristen Trickle's death a suicide, but the local prosecutor said evidence on the scene did not add up. 48 Hours correspondent Erin Moriarty has that story.
In the early morning hours of Halloween 2019, Colby Trickle called 911.
My wife shot herself.
Trickle said he woke up to his ears ringing and saw his wife Kristen bleeding next to him in bed. Sergeant Brandon Hauptman quickly responded.
He met us on the porch.
Exactly, where's the house?
It's right here. It's this one with red and white.
Hayes Police Department.
Inside the house, Hauptman found Colby's wife Kristen clinging to life.
I kind of focused in on her jaw moving. I could see the movement of her jaw.
We got a pulse and a start CPR.
Kristen Trickle couldn't be saved. 3 days later, after an autopsy, the coroner ruled Kristen's death a suicide. But prosecutor Erin Cunningham questioned if Kristen could have fired the large caliber revolver that killed her. You have a replica or a very similar type of gun. Can you show it to me?
Sure.
How large? Oh,
It's pretty hefty, as you can tell. It's a hand
I'm
cannon.
a little surprised.
Yeah. It's awkward to maneuver, not something you'd easily turn on yourself.
He thinks Colby Trickle killed his wife.
I do not believe he did it.
Colby Trickle's attorney, Cassie Ziegler, points out that Colby didn't hesitate to call 911.
When he called 911, she was still showing signs of life.
To try to resolve the issue, authorities tried something new and ordered a very different type of autopsy, an autopsy of Kristen's mind. So basically, this is a psychological autopsy, trying to figure out the state of mind of a person who died. That's difficult to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
And had this ever been done in the state of Kansas before?
Never in a criminal case, no.
All right, so Erin is joining us now in Studio 57. Erin, a psychological autopsy? I had never heard of that before.
I never had either. I had heard they'll do an analysis of a defendant to determine whether he was sane or insane at the time of death. This was very different. It's one of the reasons why we did this story. And I understand it because here you have this young woman, single gunshot wound here. The coroner, when he gets there, she has no defensive wounds. She has no, at least apparently, any sign of previous abuse. So how do you determine? There's no real science. And so what they wanted to try to do, and it was highly unusual, it had never been done in the state of Kansas, was to try to determine her state of mind in those hours, those days, those months leading up to her death.
Right.
But the problem and what made it so controversial and contested by the defense was that you couldn't talk to her.
Of course.
I know. And only her husband saw her in those hours leading up. So all you had really was his word. And then this was not done until almost 2 years after she died. So, you know, the big question, were people's memories affected?
Yeah.
You know.
But, you know, the county coroner went to the scene and determined it was a suicide. If the coroner says, based on the evidence, this is a suicide, why didn't it just end there? Why did investigators question that?
Well, I thought that was really interesting. These were good investigators, and they were troubled by the size of the gun. We'll talk about that in the hour because it was a revolver, a very hefty revolver, a .357 with, I didn't measure it, but yes. And investigators told me it was a 12-inch barrel. I mean,
that's long.
Yeah, that's so, and it's dark. And was she holding it like, so there were real questions.
Yeah.
She had never talked to anyone about wanting to take her life. And I think that is what made them think, we've got to go look. And the study is interesting. I know you've had some questions about it, but I found it a wonderful analysis weighing the risk factors, what might make her likely to take her life against what they call protective factors, the reasons why you wouldn't take your life.
Interesting. And then the husband, Colby, what evidence was there to indicate that he might have had something to do with this?
you know, sadly, it was really his own stories, his own statements. The most damaging evidence against him was that, and this is a hard thing to say about somebody, he had difficulty telling the truth. He would tell investigators stories that weren't true, that he didn't need to tell. You know, he had been in the Army Reserve, and he gave these stories about how he had been part of Army intelligence and interviewed informants, and none of that was true.
Wow.
So, you know, you've got a person, if they're not telling the truth about little things, are they telling the truth about the most important thing, about how his wife died?
Yes, Erin. Another good one. Another really interesting case. Thank you so much. You can watch Kristen Trickle, Autopsy of the Mind, on 48 Hours tomorrow night at 10, 9 Central on CBS. The show also streams on Paramount Plus. And if you want to take a deeper dive into the episodes, Tuesday, check out the podcast. It's called 48 Hours Postmortem.